A group of workers are drilling into the canyons looking for oil. The mine shaft begins releasing gas and they shut it down, but things explode and get out of hand. The people try to escape just as the entire site blows up. Later on, board members are discussing the events. Mr. Stagg says that they will have to pay the unions and pay higher wages as a result. But he's got a solution. His solution is Metamorpho, a chemically altered worker who is built to survive and thrive in hazardous environments. Stagg Industries has already put a fortune into developing this prototype, but they need proof. Stagg then decides to grab an unwilling volunteer. Later on, at the train station, Stagg sent a goon to grab mutant samples. He boards a train with the suitcase, and the train takes off. On his trip, his briefcase is taken from him to be checked. A man named Mr. Mason is enjoying his time on the trip. Suddenly, the samples fall and break, releasing into the train. The train stumbles and it stops responding. We have a runaway train on our hands. A truck gets stuck on the track, and the train rams through it. Suddenly, Green Lantern arrives to stop the train, sinking into the ground to do so. The train rams through the station, but it eventually stops inside. Green Lantern contains the situation, and emergencies arrive, but this situation could have been a lot worse. Rex Mason to greet John, who is an old friend from the Marines. They decide to catch up and go back to his place. Rex is doing well for himself, but he's working for Stagg Industries. Sapphire Stagg then arrives and is introduced as his fiancée. Back at the crash site, they are still trying to figure out what caused the crash. Naturally, Batman sneaks anywhere where there is trouble and finds traces of the mutagen. As that is happening, Green Lantern is still with Rex, who reveals that Stagg doesn't know he's dating his daughter. John then gets a call and Batman tells him that the chemical caused the crash. He confronts Rex about this and asks him to reveal what is happening. Rex gets defensive, and John leaves him a beeper before leaving. Rex then says that something came up. At Stagg Industries, Stagg scolds his goon for losing the briefcase. If this project fails, Stagg will go bankrupt. Rex visits him and asks him why the goon was on the train, confronting him about the mutagen. Stagg warns him to stay out of it, but Rex isn't gonna let it go. He calls Sapphire and says they have to talk. Later, Stagg goes to visit his daughter and rings the door with some flowers. He finds Rex, who tells him that he's accepted another job offer, and Sapphire is leaving with him. Stagg is in shock, but says that all he wants is for Sapphire to be happy. He refuses to shake Rex's hands and storms off, intending to use him as his volunteer. Later on, Rex is cleaning his desk when there is a breach. He tries to call security, but they've been taken out. He goes to search, but it's a trap. A gas is released into a chamber, and he gets zapped by an energy. Later on, he wakes up in front of Stagg to be told there's been an accident. Sapphire passes out when she sees Rex. He takes a look in the mirror to find a monstrosity. The goon tries to stop him, but Rex now has powers. He escapes, and Sapphire wakes up before Green Lantern arrives. Rex is running away, and is horrified by what he's become. People see him and become terrified. Then he gets run over by a truck, which turns him to paint. His body reassembles and he begs for help, but typical American police just opens fire. He runs away and escapes into the sewers as the police continue to investigate. Stagg and the goon keep taking pictures, and Sapphire begs Green Lantern to help him before kissing him. Stagg notices it and doesn't like it. I wonder why. Later on, Rex finds the project files and confronts Stagg. He shows Stagg what he can do and demands to know who's responsible. Stagg tells him that Sapphire had nothing to do with it and hands him a file, showing him pictures of her with Green Lantern. Rex has been played. The Justice League joins the search for Rex as they all fly around the city. They find a bank robbery taking place and go in to help. The criminals are getting away, and they fire a rocket at Hawkgirl, which only slows them down. They find Green Lantern waiting for them, and he slices their truck apart. He easily apprehends them and chains them, and Hawkgirl stops one from sneaking from behind. John opens up to her about Rex, and Rex calls him asking to meet. He immediately takes off and gets to him, but Rex attacks him. He accuses him of being jealous and doing this to him. He keeps attacking while the bad guys observe from afar. Rex slams him down and has completely lost his mind at this point. The goon is taking a video of all this while Rex is about to burn John. Superman finally arrives at the scene, and he is unaffected by Rex's attacks. He deals with him with ease until Rex turns into kryptonite and destroys Superman. He doesn't know what's happening to him, but Hawkgirl tries to take his head off. He spills on her wings, but then Batman arrives. Martian Manhunter joins the battle and turns into a dragon, but Rex is able to adapt to anything thrown at him. He causes a giant explosion, but Green Lantern shields them from the blast. He finally has enough and traps Rex inside a barrier, but he's able to leak below. Sapphire is sitting alone mourning when she hears rattling from the bathroom. Surprise! Rex comes from the sink. He accuses her of cheating on him with Green Lantern and loses control, but she denies what happened. She slaps some sense into him and says that whatever he saw was a lie. He realizes that he's been blind to her father's manipulation and takes off. Meanwhile, Stagg is showing the board his prototype. He toasts capitalism, but Rex arrives to confront him. He asks why he did this to him before trying to kill him. The goon hits him with sub-zero temperatures and stops him from reacting. John is speaking with Sapphire trying to find him, and Sapphire starts admiring John way too much. He promises her to bring Rex back and takes off. Rex, meanwhile, is being taken away when he starts to melt. He escapes and takes the wheel, literally, and then the drivers open fire at him. He comes out, though, and takes them out with the power of adaptation. Back at Stagg Industries, they are working to build more prototypes and want to start full-scale production, but Rex breaks in. He attacks them and breaks their little operation, destroying everything in sight. Stagg gets hit with electricity, but then another mutant comes out. This one is even bigger and more destructive than Rex. Stagg is dead, and the Justice League is too late, but Rex wakes up and says that there is a new monster. He apologizes for trying to kill him and suggests they work together. The monster attacks the city and everyone starts to panic. Police arrive and open fire, but the monster is too overpowered. It walks through the city, and then the Justice League arrives to deal with the situation. Superman is slapped away and doesn't know what to do. Back at Stagg Industries, they get word of the other monster and release Rex. Batman collects a sample, and before they leave, Rex asks John to join them, and Batman agrees. He stays behind to test the residue to find a weakness, and they take off. Superman gets caught and squashed like a bug. Hawkgirl tries to attack, but she's a joke. She gets sprayed like a fly before Superman comes back to be dusted in the wind. Martian Manhunter arrives to check up on them, and the heroes arrive. They conclude that they can't reason with the monster and sense a mind inside it. Meanwhile, Sapphire is watching this on the news when the monster pays her a visit. It grabs her and climbs the buildings like King Kong, and the heroes follow after them. They try to attack it, but nothing works. Rex gets down to deal with it and fight fire with fire, but it doesn't work. Green Lantern and Hawkgirl are taken out, and Martian Manhunter is useless as usual. Superman saves him, but he's blasted with a heat wave. Green Lantern tries to hold his own, but he's taken out as well. Rex saves him, and Batman tells them that the creature is made out of protein and can destroy it with amino acids. Rex volunteers to do it, knowing it will kill him too, and silently puts John to sleep. He asks Batman for the formula and takes off, climbing the building until he reaches Stagg. Stagg takes form and reveals himself as the monster. He tries to take out Rex, but he can improvise, adapt, and overcome. He turns into the Human Torch before going on one last hurrah and enters Stagg, busting inside him and exploding all over him. Sapphire falls off, but John saves her. Stagg wakes up in the hospital just as the monster busts all over the city, and Stagg goes back out. Green Lantern saves them and comforts Sapphire, who's later broken up. Rex is the real hero of the situation, and he wakes up after Sapphire's tears touch him. He manifests again, and Sapphire runs into his arms, right after she was all over Green Lantern.
He cold. She belongs to the streets.
Well, it was kind of fun seeing another accidental hero who didn't turn out badly. We would like to note Sapphire's suspicious activities with Green Lantern.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Rex saves the day, and it is amazing to see a creature that can literally adapt to anything that is thrown at him, even Superman. We also have to say, Martian Manhunter keeps proving himself to be more and more useless each episode. Well, this brings us to the end of today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this one. Your support helps us grow. And tell me what you think about this story. Do you like Rex's powers and abilities? Do you think Martian Manhunter is a liability to the Justice League? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you're watching till now, thank you. I'll see you in another video soon.